into their pockets. Shane Seeley has the story.
CEO of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, expressing serious concern about the current dry spell and the impact it is having on local farmers. And with weather predictions not in their favor, he believes the time to act is now.
If it continues going down throughout the year, it's going to have implications not only for this year but for next year, because that is where now a lot of the underground aquifers have to be filled up from this year's rain. And we are hoping, of course, that maybe we can encourage farmers from the little rain that is there to maybe start to increase their water collection measures, maybe to look at the whole question of water harvesting even more seriously. But the question of storage comes into play. That is going to be a big factor. And the more efficient use of water is generally, whether or not be on a pig farm, whether or not be a dairy farm or whatever. And maybe we have to look at the whole question of how do we better utilize water recycling measures. All of these things we're going to have to look at.
Now, an example of how the dry spell is affecting farmers is seen right here in the Pine Basin. Not only are they paying more generally for irrigation water, they're paying double on their monthly water bill because of the drought conditions.
The first challenge is, again, a high water bill, right? A bigger loss in your crops because obviously, like I just explained, right, you keep finding dropouts here and there. Right? Plants will die, right? The expenses will go up because they're not going to produce as much either, right? So you'll be putting more money in for less in return.
And it's not only crop farmers that will be affected.
While we might be able, yes, to use feed, but the thing is really that if the rain continues to fall at the rate it's falling right now, where capacity development is limited and people not, and during this period too, what people look to do is they look to grow grass and store it. It's going to limit that. So the amount of grasses available for animals will be limited if the present situation continues.
And it's expected that at the BAS annual general meeting this coming Saturday, finding a response to the dry spell will be high on the agenda. Shane Seeley, CBC News.
Well, the Barbados Water Authority says residents in several St. Joseph, St. Andrew and St. John districts will be affected tomorrow when there will be a full shutdown at Bend Spring in St. John from 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening. And this is due to ongoing work in its mains laying project. The St. John areas are Consett Bay, Bath, St. Margaret's, Glen Burnie and Foster Hall. St. Joseph districts included Tent Bay, Bathsheba, Joes River, St. Elizabeth, Cattle Wash and East Coast Road, and in St. Andrew, Belle Plaine, Lakes, Isolation Road, Franklin Duglin Road, Babylon, Walkers, Shorey Village, Chalky Mount, Cambridge, St. Simons, Bawdens, King Garden and Baxter's in St. Andrew will be impacted, and customers are being asked to store adequate amounts of water. The authority regrets any inconvenience caused. Well, the St. Lucie-based Arawak Cement Company Limited is laying off 40 workers. The job losses will take effect from October 23rd. The employees are being retrenched under a comprehensive restructuring plan designed to save the operation from going under. Ryan Broom has more.
General Manager Rupert Green explained that the company had been recording significant losses since 2008, while its cost of production was significantly higher than the other subsidiaries in the parent TCL Group. He said the selection of employees for redundancy will be done in accordance with the collective agreements in force with the Barbados Workers Union and the National Union of Public Workers. All levels of employees will be affected. The company says it will also be meeting with employee representatives shortly to consult on the restructuring program. Mr. Green also gave the assurance that although Arawak is financially challenged, it will endeavor to provide all the entitlements due to those being affected. The company will also provide counseling and support services to assist them in making the transition. The high cost of energy and labor were identified as the two largest components affecting the company, whose viability was at risk unless the current mode of operation was significantly transformed. Mr. Green added that the restructuring program demanded implementation of efficiencies in operational processes for the production of cement and the containment of costs. He says it is aimed to achieve a reversal in the level of losses, improved operational efficiencies, repositioning for competitiveness in the domestic market, and reclaiming market share in export markets. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
Well, a 15% increase in arrivals to Barbados has helped regional carrier Liat record a strong performance in July, and Shane Seeley has the details.
Officials from regional carrier Liat report that passenger numbers and revenue for last month have shown a big improvement over the same period in 2014. They say that the best performing route was Barbados to Guyana, from which Liat's revenue nearly doubled year on year. Liat also attributed the improved performance to growth in arrivals in a number of other countries. Among them, the biggest was Guyana, where there was a 62% increase in arrivals. Tortola registered a 32% increase. St. Martin went up by 15%, and Antigua registered a 9% increase. The airline recorded average load factors of just under 76% in July. Shane Seeley, CBC News.
A Bridgetown store owner who reportedly used insulting language to a police officer was reprimanded and discharged after appearing in the District A Magistrates Court. 46-year-old Hiro Uttamchandani, the owner of Tropicana Jewelers, pleaded guilty to that charge yesterday. Now, on Monday, he allegedly called a police constable a damn idiot. It's understood that the officer who was on duty on Swan Street responded to a complaint from someone who had a cell phone and cash stolen while he was inside Tropicana Jewelers. Efforts to review the store's security camera footage proved futile as the owner did not allow him to do so. Now, the officer left and returned with a police sergeant. The sergeant spoke with the store owner, but after doing so, the owner uttered the words, "You are a damn idiot," to the junior officer. The constable informed him it was an offense to do so and asked for his name and address, which he refused to give. Uttamchandani was then arrested and charged, and the store owner apologized to the officer and the court for the incident. While a recent shooting incident in Britainsill, St. Michael, has now claimed the life of one of its victims, police say 21-year-old Ashim Talamaki of Britainsill, who was shot in the head in the vicinity of Pump It Up Sports Bar in Birch Road, Forge Road, has died. Talamaki reportedly succumbed to his injuries at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital this morning after being treated for several gunshot wounds. Police say he was reportedly fired upon by a group of young men and was one of 2 people injured during that incident, which occurred around 1:45 in the morning on the 4th of August. The other person shot was a 48-year-old man from Britainsill in St. Michael. Well, today, Barbadians bade farewell to Evelyn Granny Walcott, the founder of the popular Granny's restaurant in Oistins. Scores of people converged at the Christchurch Parish Church to celebrate the life of a woman well known for the chicken necks, liver and gizzards sold at her shop. More importantly, though, Evelyn Granny Walcott was remembered for her 97 years of selfless service to her country. Presenting the eulogy, Sir Henry Fraser described Granny as a determined woman who started as a struggling single mother of 2 to emerge a local legend. Sir Henry says Granny will particularly be remembered for her work to the Foundation Boys School, where she served in the canteen for some time.
Many prominent members of society today who went to Foundation tell of the days when their parents couldn't pay school fees and provide lunch money, and Granny came to the rescue every time. She had a knack for spotting boys in need, boys who were poor or hungry or bright and deserving but couldn't feed, and she fed them without question and without ever seeking payment.
Among the many persons in attendance was Prime Minister Frundle Stewart, who gave the Bible reading. Delivering a message of hope was Reverend Everton Light, who also lauded Granny's contribution to society.
The late Evelyn Granny Walcott is one of those mighty warriors. And as the question is asked, who are these and whence have they come? And the response, these are those who washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. She fought the good fight of faith. She fought the great battle in life. And today, we give God thanks for her life.
May she rest in peace. And more news in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Should farmers put more effort into harvesting rainwater so they can better cope with droughts? You can text yes or no to short code 8111 and we'll have the results for you at the end of the news.
grab the phone, get the hoe, link up the family and come let me go.
Roll well, eat well, live well, right here in Bim.
Yes!
Roll well, eat well, live well, right here in Bim.
No, we don't have to buy all imported stock, cause high nutrition in the food that we got. Plant something, start your own crop, grow something local to put in your pot. It's true, more healthy with the fresh produce, with high nutritional value. It costs less to grow and eat your own food, so gather the crew. Come!
Roll well, eat well, live well, right here in Bim.
Yes!
Roll well, eat well, live well, right here in Bim.
Sharing everything is our style. No camera can capture our magic. But when a cold hits, my head is somewhere else. I need that cold out. And life back in.
When a cold keeps you away, reach for Panadol Multi-Symptoms. Clinically proven ingredients for a total response to help clear your physical symptoms.
So I can be fully there for them.
Panadol Multi-Symptoms. When the cold is gone, life takes its place.
Shoes, shoes, shoes. Megville is offering good shoes at good prices. Shoes for dress, work, hotel, and restaurant workers. School shoes and casual wear shoes. Go to Megville, where you'll always get good shoes at good prices. Located in Tudor Street, High Street, and Palmetto Street in Bridgetown.
As out-of-town shopping centers continue to grow, interest in the capital city will decline. President of the Barbados Town Planning Society, Dr. Yolanda Aline, says Bridgetown has seen businesses moving out and into the suburbs due to issues like traffic congestion. She says at the moment it appears that the city and these suburban centers are competing against each other, but Dr. Aline is of the view that some of the same issues facing Bridgetown will affect these developing centers.
Great reliance on the motor car becomes even greater. So the congestion doesn't change in Bridgetown that much because nobody's helping it. People go outside to the suburbs, but then the suburbs suffer from the same problem, congestion also. So you go to Warrens and you have the congestion. You go by Sky Mall and you have the congestion. So what I want to suggest is that the fortunes of the city and the suburbs are tied together. And you can't plan for one without the other. You can't revitalize Bridgetown and not plan for some level of control in the suburban centers.
Dr. Aline's comments came as she delivered the annual public lecture of the Urban Development Commission, part of activities marking the UDC's 18th anniversary. Dr. Aline told those gathered at the UDC's Bridge Street headquarters that there are several urban areas which need to be addressed.
CARIFESTA is the flag.
Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley is leading a Barbadian delegation to participate in the 12th edition of the Caribbean Festival of Arts, CARIFESTA, which is being held in Haiti. The festival officially launched on July 8th under the theme Our Roots, Our Culture, Our Common Future, which will be held from August 21st to the 30th. It will feature fashion, literature, the visual arts, film, dance, music, and theater presentations. Mr. Lashley will also represent Prime Minister Frundle Stewart at the opening ceremony on August 21st, where he will deliver a message on behalf of the Prime Minister, who is currently chairman of CARICOM. Well, meantime, Program Manager for Culture and Community Development at the CARICOM Secretariat, Dr. Hilary Brown, says CARIFESTA is about advancing the whole idea of Caribbean unity and togetherness through culture.
CARIFESTA is the flagship culture activity of the culture program at the Secretariat. It is the festival that we all love. It is about the explosion of culture, exchanges, performances at high standard, representation from all of the member states in CARICOM. We really like to have all the member states, all the associate members, as well as other countries in the region that we have good relations with, from the French, Dutch, Spanish-speaking Caribbean. Everybody's invited to CARIFESTA.
As part of its community-based tourism project, Taste Tour Treasure, Come a Visitor Leave a Philippine, the St. Philip Parish Independence Committee is hosting the Cayman Islands Man of the Year, Lloyd Barker Jr. The 21-year-old who arrived in the island on Sunday night was selected by the Barbados Consulate in Cayman Islands for his outstanding community work there. He is now at Carleton University in Ottawa studying law with a minor in communications. Barker has a strong interest in education and lectures to students, provides back to back-to-school supplies for them and is involved in community cleanups when in Cayman. At Carlton, he is a member of the Diabetes Association and volunteers to take notes for the disabled in his class.
I have my own platform, which is called the Pursuit of Excellence platform by Lloyd Barker. And what I do is I try to instill the importance of education into the minds of not just young people, but the entire Cayman community. I have done that through a variety of articles that I've published and made available to the various schools. And then I've also started an award platform called the Pursuit of Excellence Award by Lloyd Barker, where I recognize 2 young people each year who are, in grades 9 through 12 for their excellence in academics, their excellence in character, and their excellence in community service.
Well, since arriving here on Sunday night, Barker has been on a hectic schedule, visiting several attractions, including Harbor Lights, Harrison's Cave, and the Atlantis submarine. He also paid a courtesy call on Senator Maxine McLean, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and he leaves the island tomorrow. Still to come and look at some of the stories making headlines across our region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Should farmers put more effort into harvesting rainwater so they can better cope with the droughts? Text yes or no to short code 8111 and we'll have the results for you at the end of our news. And you can also follow us on Twitter at CBC_Newsroom and on our Facebook page, CBC Newsroom Barbados.
Keep on playing.
Learning about life is learning not to give up. Falling and standing up again with you by their side. And for the toughest stains, you can always rely on Breeze Laundry Detergent. Breeze, with the extra power of pre-treaters, removes the toughest stains, even in a quick wash.
Keep on playing.
Breeze, unbeatable on the toughest stains.
Distributed by Massey Distribution.
The summer parties are heating up, but Biko can cool you down with a great summer party special. A 4-liter Biko value pack, now only $34.99. Or grab the 1-liter size for just $11.99. So when the party gets hot, 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 cool down with Biko's summer party special. Available from participating retailers, Biko Mobilers, and the Biko Direct Outlet on Harbor Road.
My grandmother always used to say 50 years in 50 days. And a milestone like this don't come wrong every day. 2016 can be 50 years of independence for we. So come and celebrate we pride and industry.
We are looking for a creative and unique official logo to depict the theme Pride and Industry, celebrating 50. The winning designer will receive $1,500 and the logo will be used on digital and print media and on official merchandise alongside the Barbados coat of arms. To enter, download a form at gisbarbados.gov.bb or pick up one from the Barbados Government Information Service on Bay Street or any post office. Submit your entries to the Barbados Government Information Service by 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, September 30th.
Across the Caribbean is brought to you with the compliments of CIBC First Caribbean.
The Jamaica Police Federation has condemned unlawful or corrupt acts committed by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. This comes amid reports that 2 members of the organization were busted on Monday for criminal activities. The association says members woke to the news alleging that a colleague was shot while attempting to rob a bank client, and another was allegedly shot by members of the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency team as they tried to pursue him during a sting operation. The association says if true, it must condemn their unlawful behavior as the force has no place for anyone with criminal intent and tendencies. In Guyana now, just about a week after a Chinese businessman was killed in the full view of his children, the police have managed to arrest a suspect. Javon Vickery reports.
Police are moving one step closer to finding the cold-blooded killers who carried out the attack on a Mandela Avenue businessman and his wife at their home in the presence of their children. Commissioner of Police Silar Prasad related to reporters last week that investigators on the case are following several leads in pursuit of a second suspect.
There is a person in custody right now who the police is working with, and there's another that they're trying to arrest.
Crime Chief Wendell Blanham, however, told reporters last week that police managed to obtain surveillance images from cameras located at several locations around the building. But when asked by this newscast whether the evidence obtained might have put a face to the crime, this is what the commissioner had to say. Was it the camera footage that they had around the place?
I am not aware of a camera footage.
There were surveillance cameras around the place. So was that one of the main use?
Do you know that there were surveillance cameras around the place? I mean, say around the place, what do you mean? In that building?
Yeah, they were inside and outside.
It was said that CCTV.
It was said that. He is saying that he knows that, and I know differently.
The 35-year-old father of two was found gagged and bound near his kitchen with chop wounds to the head and abdomen last week after bandits invaded his Mandela Avenue restaurant and home. His wife also received several serious blows to the head from the attackers.
And sports is just ahead, but first, here is a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you with the compliments of CIBC First Caribbean.
And here now is a tip from